Legion Tactical Cutlery. Hold the line!
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Grugs here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back, troops, Legionnaires, and new recruits. Today, we are going to be testing out the Yewu drop point hunter here in 14C 28N steel. I am excited to test this one. I know that there's a lot of people out there who want to know the capabilities of this particular knife. Let's put this through its paces. What's everybody's EDC today? Well, I'm carrying my R Black Tonto here. What are you carrying today? Let me know. Veterans, active military, as always, just want to say thank you very much for your service. Enjoy the video. Quick specs. This is the Yewu 10-inch drop point hunter in 14C 28N steel. Overall length 10.15 inch, blade length 5.23 inch blade steel, 14C 28N, blade hardness 60 to 62 HRC, blade thickness 5 millimeters, handle length 4.92 inch, handle material G10. This particular one is in tan, it does come in black. Handle thickness 1.57 inch, knife weight 10.31 ounce, and it features full tang lanyard hole, Kydex sheath, and tech lock. Let's do a close-up. This is, in my opinion, one of the nicest looking blades that I own. I love the way that looks. So it's a high saber grind with a nice swedge right over there. I'm catching the light. Small sharpening choil. It's got a little guard, some jimping on the top. Nice 5 millimeter thickness, full tang goodness. The handles are G10. They come in black or tan. All right, now if you go take a look at my Legion Premiere, I purchased the black handle one with the black stonewash. Yewu sent me these for testing, so excited. And it's a pretty good looking knife. So go take a look at that Legion Premiere for more details. Now, let's take a look at the sheath. One of the nicest sheaths. This is a pancake style sheath with rivets and slots. Very good quality, high quality, I would say. It's got a tech lock for upright and scout carry. Let's pop the knife in real quick. Okay, so slight rattle, a little bit of side to side play. No up and down from the sheath. Now let's see what the retention is like. The retention is good. Let's get to work. I've got a decent sized log. We're going to be chopping with this one. It's a small log, so it should be quick, and then we'll take it from there. All right, Legionnaires, since this is a pretty small knife, I'm going to, just do a demonstration on a small log. In fact, I'm going to do it right here by this knot area. We'll start over here, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so I did add a lanyard. This handle feels real good, real comfortable, but however, for a little bit of chopping to test out the edge, I'm going to go right back here. So let's get started, right? Now, I know a lot of you have been wanting me to test this one out. I think that this is a pretty good looking blade. I mean, even if you're not going to do this type of work, you're just going to use that as a knife, quote unquote. It's really nice, man. So hopefully these tests will meet your expectations, and if you're interested, you grab it. Okay, this is a nice hard piece of wood. Just eating away this area. it's very well balanced. Listen, this is not a chopper whatsoever. However, you know, this is what I do to test out the edge to see if it's going to hold up. And this has definitely got a nice knot in it. But as long as you have your hand towards the rear of this blade, if you need to do a little bit of delimbing, you know, you need to make a fishing pole or a spear or something like that, I think this knife will be capable. It's sticking in there, that's for sure. I'm going to try and use every part of the blade here. Oh, my screws come loose. Okay, just got to be careful with that. It's a nice hard log, man, for something so small. Yeah, I didn't tighten up these screws, but you could see the screw is going back and forth over here. So I'm going to need to tighten this up. Let me see if I could just finger tighten this for now. Okay. Using that front part of the blade. Come on now. Let's get this over with. Yeah, good thing I didn't use anything too big, man. Woo. All right, we are almost there. Definitely a good challenge. Definitely not a chopper, boy, let me tell you. Okay, good. Good, I'm going to tighten up these screws, but before then, all right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's just see real quick. You can see the discoloration right there. Nice. Very nice. Okay, we're looking good here. Just going to tighten these up and we will do some batoning. So far, one issue, all three screws came loose, but that's good to know. Make sure that you Loctite this. I've got this original piece. I just got done chopping, and then I have these other pieces. We're just going to make some kindling, okay? So let's grab the baton here, and let's check this out. Now, this was pretty damn hard, this piece of wood, man. Whoops, I almost screwed that up. Okay, good. All right, let's just keep on going. I'm going to use different parts of the blade. Actually, I noticed that when I review my videos to make sure that, you know, my voice is still recording, you know, I always go and check the video, make sure everything is okay. I noticed I did not use the rear part of the blade. So now, let me baton with the rear part of the blade, which is doing well. Now you can see all the scuff marks on both sides. Okay. And I'm just going to save this one for the end of my video. I'm going to try this other species over here. Nice. That worked well. Let's try the front part here. Very good. So that high saber grind, which is almost completely flat, is doing a fantastic job. Let's do it again here. All right. Trying to zoom in on the camera as much as possible without distorting the video. Okay. I'm going to find another piece to do some horizontal batoning in a minute or two, but that looks good. And now that I have these two species, okay, real quick. Let's just make sure that we're looking good here. Yep, that looks good. All right, and this is the wood that I just chopped and batoned. Let me just find something good over here. All right, excellent. So excellent batoning. Let's do some vertical batoning and some tip testing, okay? Okay, great. Now I've been saving these pieces because I'm running out. All right, so, but still, I think it's plausible at a campsite you might find some pieces of wood like this, and you need to get them down smaller. Now, I know I have no illusions. There's plenty of sticks on the floor. You don't have to make feather sticks. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. But this is a channel that tests out knives. So let's just do a little horizontal batoning. Okay. See if I can make some nice sized feather sticks. Okay, utilizing the whole blade here to do this kind of work. Nice. All right. And while I got this here, I might as well do this. All right. Beautiful. Okay. I'll do it. Let me try it with this now. There's a different species of wood, a little bit different. Okay. Used in past testing. Once again, utilizing the whole blade. Just want to make sure these things don't fall. All right. See the split right there. There we go. All right. And obviously we can make it even smaller. Perfect. Now this has a bit of a protruding tang, so if we wanted to You know, we could bang this in the wood, you know, and you know, do whatever is necessary. All right. So, for example, you need to make individual curls. You go. All right. Not bad, not bad. Let me do this other species right here. Looking sharp, looking good. Okay. That's pretty awesome, right? Whoops. Let me test out feather stick for everybody. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Kind of want to make them nice and long for everybody. Get that practice in too. But ultimately, I'm always going back to doing it this way. Just take my time here. Let's make a nice feather stick for everybody. And once again, I understand you don't need to make feather sticks. You can just pick up whatever's on the floor, etc. You know, I understand completely. However, if you want to sharpen your skills, you're out in the field, you want to practice. You know, now your question is, can this knife do it after some abuse? Is it 100% a bushcraft knife? No. Can you do some bushcraft tasking? Sure, why not? And okay, so now that I made a nice feather stick for everybody, actually, here's another piece. I've been trying to practice and make the real long feathers, you know, but that still takes a lot more practice and skill. And I like to usually sit down and do it. Just a, you know, just a quick example. Whoops, that I'm making the long curls. And again, you don't have to make a feather stick. You just make a pile of these. You don't have to make a pile of these. You just pick up your sticks and, you know, cut your food with this knife instead. But as always, I got to tell everybody, this is a channel that tests out knives. So I'm just giving you guys an idea of how well these inexpensive blades, you know, perform out there. Okay. Good, good, good. Let's test out this tip over here. I'll get another piece to smash in with the tip, but for now, this is a nice piece just to use the tip to dig in, you know. So let me do that with this knife. I'm going to use that tip to pivot inside this piece of wood. I personally think that this is a fair test because I can see people, doing this possibly out in the field. Okay. Good way to make some fluff, spark up a ferro rod and light this stuff up. But once again, using that tip to pivot. Okay, not bad, not bad. Actually, very good. All right, you can see that deep hole where I put the tip in. All right, so I definitely want to save this for the end of the video. Let me just grab another piece so I could do, some nice tip testing here. And I'm just going to do this real quick. There goes my club. All right, I'm getting cracks all around my stump here. It's nice and humid. I'm surprised it didn't get, bigger, but in any case, that's looking good. Let me find another piece of wood. One sec. Okay, I got a nice piece over here with that knot. All right. So let's see. Just make it safe for myself here. So let's do it, man. Okay, so you can see it's going through, but it's a bit of a challenge, and the handle feels good. Let me, you know what? While this is here, let me just put on some gloves because it is a little bit slippery, and I want to get some good leverage. Okay. Shout out to my daughter-in-law for these awesome gloves. These are cut resistant. They're nice and grippy too, so hopefully it won't be so bad. So this should be a good indicator how this tip is going to do. All right, here you go. Right through, man. Okay? Didn't break. It's going to take me a while to get out. So as far as I'm concerned, we're looking good here. All right, man? So I don't want to just spend way too much time, trying to get this out. So before I start with camp tasks, I just want to show you where the tip went in through this piece of wood, and that tip is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. So pretty awesome blade. Okay, I gotta admit, my hands are, it's Florida, so they're a little sweaty. So that's a good test. They are grippy, but you know what? To do that kind of a tip test, I wanted to put on the gloves, and it worked out well. Now let's get to the camp tasks, and then we should be done for the day. So I have some material that you would probably have at a campsite or hiking, and then I have some other material here that is at a construction site. This will be good for testing. I got 2 different types of plastic, some rubber, then I have some fat wood and a ferro rod because I do want to test the spine. So let's go. Here's some very thin paracord right here. Okay, that cut it up well. Let me just put this away. Got very little left. And all right. That worked well. Something a little bit thicker here. I really hate the idea of wasting this, but it is, a test. So Okay. That was a nice easy slice. I have a little bit different paracord over here, and I don't know what I did over here, but you know what? Let's cut this. All right, see, I cut that off loose. Easy to cut, man. I mean, this knife is still pretty sharp, and we're looking good here. Some thick rope, whatever is left, I will use. Well, my block is pretty busy today. There's been cars going up and down this block like nuts. Okay, nice and easy. Easy push cuts. This knife is awesome, man. This knife is good. Whoops. Okay, no big deal. Take this piece right here. Easy, all right? I have some soft rubber here that I cut the other day. If you want to make some precision cuts. All right, here's some nice angled cuts. Going right through, right? And then real easy. And we have something heavy duty over here. In fact, let me do this. All right. Believe it or not, this stuff right here holds together pre-made roofing, okay? Pretty cool. They got it all tightened up with this stuff. So perfect to, you know, cut them. Now, let's test this spine. Oh, nice. Well, at least for the fat wood, it's good. Okay, let's try a little different area of the wood. Yeah, it's doing it, man. That's great. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then, of course, as always, can make nice thin little curls with the knife. If you don't want to do any kind of scraping, make them nice and thin and then spark them up. Now, you know what? Let me try a piece of wood to see how this spine works on the wood. I think it might do okay. So give me a second. Trying to find a piece that I used before. Let's see. So you see the way I'm holding the knife? Feels very good, very comfortable. You know what? I'm doing better. I did better with the fat wood. Okay, but with a little bit of work and maybe some spine sharpening, you know, you can get a little tinder here, a little fluffy tinder. Yeah, kind of was hoping that was going to be better since it was, you know, since it did so well with this, with the fat wood. However, you know, if you're going to put some muscle into it, some work, you'll get enough. And that's if you even, you know, care to do something like this. But again, this is just an example to show you the spine. Definitely could use sharpening, you know, in any case, with a little bit of work. You know, if you needed even to round it something off, you know, I think you're gonna be able to do it with this one. See, I am rounding this off now. It's not an angle. Now, whether it's going to help you to, make tinder to start up a fire, that's a different story. You're going to have to judge from what I just did over here. Okay, so now, last but not least, let's see how this works out. Yeah, it's doing it. Don't know if I'm doing it. Let me do it without the jimping first. Not that great. It definitely could use some sharpening. All right, but I think with a little bit of aggression, okay, it'll work. All right, so we're good to go. All right, there you have it, troops. Another fine blade, okay, from a company called Yewu, and Gia Brother is selling this knife. So I got a link on Amazon if you guys are interested. I know that a lot of you wanted to see what this knife, this particular knife right here with that particular blade shape, what it was capable of. I hope that it met your expectations. And I gotta tell you, man, haters, no haters, these knives, maybe they may not hold their value, but for 35, 40, 50 bucks, who cares, man? And the American knife companies better wake up, because I put these knives through hell and back, and they're working just fine and dandy. All right, troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, as always, really appreciate you all taking the time to check out my channel and my videos. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about this awesome blade, and it is awesome. Let me bring awareness to everybody. Hashtag 22 a day, hashtag 22 a day no more. There are veterans in active military who wants to get out of the service. They do face a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, one of these challenges is suicide. So at the end of this video, pause on the slides, call those phone numbers, surf those websites, and seek the help you all have earned and deserve. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, as always, thank you very much. At the ready, troops, hold the line. Take care.
Legionnaires!